to talk to both of you guys and try to hear both sides of the story, and then really see if we can fix this today instead of taking this any further. So I'd like to start with Mr. Jenkins, and talk to me about what some of the issues were that happened the other night. And then after you're done, I'd like to give Coach Menace a chance to talk as well. So,
Okay,
Mr. Jenkins.
Good afternoon, Mr. Farmer. Good afternoon, Coach Menace. I have some concerns about what occurred the other night, last week's game. Normally, you guys usually take the kids out to the field, opposite end zones. Everyone's available to hear. Parents are able to reconvene with the children if need be. For whatever reason, this game you guys decided to go inside of the locker room, and we have some concerns about the change in procedure.
Well, Mr. Jenkins, as you can recall, it was a pretty heated competition that night, and the opposing team wanted to use the locker room as well. And since it's one building, we decided to go inside to try to make sure that we don't have any kind of confrontation between each team. And so we took them inside to the locker room. And in the locker room, yes, we were very unhappy with the way things were going, and I addressed the team accordingly. I may have said some things maybe that I shouldn't have said, but I do believe that what was said was needed to be said to the kids so that we can get a reaction that we needed to. The kids were not performing to the best of their ability, and me as the head coach, I'm responsible for the kids' outcome. I'm responsible for the results. I'm responsible for the way that they play. And I challenged them. And I challenged each and every one of those kids, making them realize the importance of this game, and that they need to go out there and play with pride, with enthusiasm, and with conviction. And maybe a word or two might have slipped out of my mouth. But since that's something that I usually use, I think I caught their attention, and that was the intention of the whole speech, was to get their attention to come out there with some enthusiasm and passion, and that was the outcome of that speech.
Just to address, first of all, Coach Jimenez does have the right to either have his team stay outside or take them into the locker room. That is something that we allow each of our coaches in every sport to choose from. We treat coaches the same as we would a classroom teacher. So hearing from Coach Jimenez and understanding that he did curse while he was talking to the kids will be no different than a classroom situation for us. For us, that is a violation of our ethics, especially within communications with our student athletes. But knowing Coach Jimenez and the time and effort that he puts in with our students, I think this is an error in judgment. I can tell you from just experience that I've seen him and his staff out there. They are consistently working with the kids, and it could be, and a lot of times they're not paid. They will work through the summertime, 2 to 3 hours on their own. They're obviously there every single day. While Coach Jimenez did make an error in judgment and cursing at the kids, I can honestly say that he has their best interests at heart. I understand that you have some concerns. I think from here, we try to figure out where do we go from here. What is it you're looking for from Coach Jimenez? Are you looking for him to address the team and apologize? Are you looking at why he made? I mean, obviously we've already talked about why he made that comment. What is it, you, Mr. Jenkins? What would it be that would rectify the situation for you?
Well, I'm just trying to understand why the foul language occurred for starters, and then I'm trying to understand what administration is doing there to rectify the situation.
Okay.
Since this is a violation of your ethics.
Mm-hmm. Coach Jimenez.
Well, at that moment, listen, football is an emotional sport. It's a sport of passion. It's a combative sport. It's a physical contact sport. And at that moment, I felt like the only way to get the kids to understand the importance of that situation was to maybe talk at the level. I mean, let's face it, we're not coaching a bunch of choir boys, okay? Those kids do cuss, all right, and we do address it. And you know what? A couple words maybe slipped out of my mouth that I'm not proud of, but I got my point across, and we live in a day of results, and the way they came out in the second half, you obviously can see that whatever message that I tried to send to these kids, it worked, because they came out in the second half with a lot more passion, a lot more enthusiasm, and they played hard for each other. You know, we've spent a lot of time away from our family, and we invest a lot in these kids, and they have to understand that they can't go through any kind of circumstance just walking through the motions. They have to put their passion and heart into everything. And what we saw in the first half, that wasn't happening. And that's just not acceptable. We have a higher standard with these kids. Yeah, I did make a mistake. I did say some things that I shouldn't have said, you know, and I apologize for that. And I don't mean anything bad for it. But the kids know my heart, and they know where I come from, and it's all in their best interest to help them become the best them that they can be.
Obviously, after hearing Coach Menace talk, and I know Coach Menace very well. We've worked together for a number of years, and I've hired him to be our head football coach. And I know the type of man that he is. I know that all of us make mistakes. Obviously, you've heard Coach Menace. He has apologized for it. My goal here is to rectify the situation, as I said before, to make sure that we're both on the same page. I would like to be able to move on from this. Hopefully not where it doesn't move to or escalate in any situation. Like I said, Coach Jimenez has apologized about what did occur, and I've seen him work, you know, firsthand, and we both, you know, I've played the sport as well, and so have you, Mr. Jenkins, and it's and things can happen in the heat of the moment. For me, the fact that Coach Jimenez apologized, there's no doubt that he was wrong in the words that he said. Like I said, he is allowed to take the team into the locker room or have them on the field to address them during halftime. Just have to realize that the time and effort that he's putting into your son, he's trying to make him a better man, better young man, excuse me. And I know that he will continue to do that. So my concern going forward is, are we able to move forward from this? Are we able to move forward from this situation that you feel comfortable with Coach Jimenez's explanation?
At this point, I do feel comfortable with Coach Jimenez's explanation. I appreciate the work him and his staff put in, also you on the administration side, and with everything that's occurred. I was just here for an explanation as far as what occurred the other night. And I'm okay with everything that's been said to this point. With that being said, I just hope this doesn't have an impact on my child's playtime at this point in time.
Well, I mean, speaking as grown men, you know, like I said, I know Coach Jimenez very well. This is between us. Would you not agree, Mr. Jimenez?
Yes, sir, Mr. Palmer, yes.
You know, so this is something that you had an issue. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. I'm glad that we could have this conversation between the three of us and it didn't escalate any further. As you heard Coach Jimenez say, it's not going to affect your son's playing time whatsoever. I understand your concern. I appreciate Coach Jimenez coming in, and I appreciate you apologizing. It's a testament to your character. Like I said, I'm glad that we could get this situation figured right here, and it doesn't have to go any further. If there's any questions, any further questions you have this time?
No, sir.
No? Coach Jimenez?
I just want to add, you know, Mr. Jenkins is when I look at the football team, I look at a football team like they're my sons, and I want to treat them like they're my own, and I'm going to love on them, and everything that I do is to help them become a better them. And in that process, you're going to make mistakes. I'm sure you would have testified that as a father, you've made mistakes in raising your kids. But with that being said, as far as the playing time comment that you made, listen, we want to win. Okay, we're in a society of results. We want to win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. As long as things are done in the right way, as long as your son has a good attitude, a good work ethic, and he's coachable and he does what we ask, that's all that matters. If he's doing his job, if he's doing everything that we ask him with a good attitude, and he's the best person for that position, he's going to play, regardless of what happened outside. So again, I apologize for maybe my behavior. I thought it was the best thing that I needed to do to help the team, and the results did come out to the best of our ability. They come out pretty good. We still came up a little bit short at the end of the game, but the results were there, and I appreciate your time. And my door is always open for you. You have my number. You can call me or text me anytime, and I will be more than happy to meet with you or speak with you at any time after the game. Okay, and another day, not the same day of the game. Okay, but I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, Coach, and explanation is definitely worth it.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. Farmer, thanks
Thanks,
for your
guys.
time.
Appreciate both of you guys.
Thank you,
coming
Mr.
in.
Farmer. Appreciate it.
All right.